So what exactly happened then with Mauro? What was the thing that went on?
Well, there was a show that we did called "Bring It to the Table," and that was one of the big contentious points. As far as anything I said on camera that was 100% in character. Anything I said backstage, I don't think there was anything. I can't speak for Mauro, so there was no malicious intent ever on anything backstage. I thought I got along with Mauro fairly well, but the show "Bring It to the Table," Mauro had a travel problem. There was a snowstorm across the country, and he didn't make a show. And I'm not sure what all happened, but there was a snowstorm. He couldn't make travel. Those things happen. During that same time, we did this show called "Bring It to the Table," and everybody points to that show as the point of me taking a shot at Mauro. Well, on that show, right before we did it, there was about 3 to 5 minutes we needed for the show. And I said, what can we do? And I said, hey, there's this internet poll that makes Mauro the #1 announcer. Could you do something on that? I said, yeah, of course. So when he went on the show, I did a rant on the show about, no, they're calling Mauro the #1 announcer. He's retweeted it, blah, blah, blah. 100% in character. And people talk about that poll, that I was so jealous of that poll that I went on TV and talked about it. I didn't know the poll existed until right before he went on the show. And that was me. I just assumed Mauro knew that was something I had done in character. In fact, when the show aired, Meltzer, the online guy who does all the backstage news, they said Meltzer's mad at you. And I hadn't heard that name in quite a while because it's behind a paywall, his stuff. So I didn't read it. I didn't keep up with it. And I said, why is he mad? And they said, well, that was his poll. I had no idea. I had no idea. People talk about so much how I was so mad about that poll. I had no idea the poll existed. That was just me being JBL on camera. And I think Mauro took that the wrong way. I hope he didn't. I hope now he realizes that was something that I did that was 100% in character. I saw Mauro, I think a few weeks later. Everything fell out, and I became the bad guy with everything. And I saw him. He was standing for a car, and he was on his phone. I think it was New Orleans. Anyway, I walked across the parking lot, and he was on his phone, so I couldn't talk to him. But I shook his hand, just went across, shook his hand. And he said, how you doing, man? I said, it's good, brother. And just left, just to let him know that there was no ill intent, at least of me toward him. I regret the whole situation. I wish that Mauro had known, for sure. I think that was one of the things that was really upsetting. I know it was upsetting to a lot of fans because they all talked about that show.